Hey everybody, this is Ken for the Information Nation, bringing you some more stuff. Operation Cannabis, Episode 2. You know, there's a sheriff in town by the name of, let me see if I can get it right here, Chuck Rosenberg. And Chuck Rosenberg happens to be the head of the DEA. Yeah, he's the idiot who came out and said that cannabis has no medicinal value whatsoever. He's a moron. And now he wants to turn around and get rid of CBD, claiming that it's an extract off the cannabis plant and he has control over it. And, well, there's some lawyers in Colorado that are saying, back off, Chuck. Go in the jack room and back off, Chuck. He's outside his jurisdiction on this because that constitutes writing a new law. So he'll have a hard time with that. But that's not exactly what I wanted to get into today. What I want to get into today is how much the government is lying to you. Just plain lying. Not a little bit, not just a little bit more, but a whole bunch of lying to you. Now, you all know, because I've read the statement before, Schedule 1 drug, let's go right there, Schedule 1 drug. And Schedule 1 drugs, substances or chemicals that are defined as drugs with no currently accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse. And some examples are, they put it on there, LSD, cannabis, ecstasy, methaqualone, and peyote. All right. Now, we've been trying to get them for years to take it off Schedule 1. And, gee, I can't imagine why. Can you imagine why they're saying it has no medicinal purposes? No medicinal purposes whatsoever? Really? Look at that. There is a U.S. patent, and the patent number is 6630507. I'll put it at the bottom here so you can see it there. And it was filed on April 21st, 1999. Wow, that's 17 years ago. Almost 18 years ago. And it was approved, patented October 7th, 2003. And guess who holds this patent? It's called the assignee is United States of America as representative by the Department of Health and Human Services. So what's this all about? Well, it's about cannabinoids as antioxidants and neuroprotectants. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole thing. They've got a little thing down here called an abstract. You can see it right over here. It's called an abstract. And let's see what the abstract says, because otherwise we're going to be going through pages and pages and pages and pages. And I just happen to get this one off the internet, off of the Patent Office's own website. And it says abstract. Cannabinoids have been found to have antioxidant properties unrelated to NMDA receptor antagonism, whatever that is. I have no idea. I'm not a medical doctor. But let us continue here. This newfound property makes cannabinoids useful in the treatment and prophylactics of a wide variety of oxidation-associated diseases, such as ischemic, age-related inflammatory, and autoimmune diseases. Well, that kind of blows the hell right out of their Schedule 1, because how can one government agency say it has no practical use, no medical use, no accepted medical use, and on the other hand, you hold the patent for the medical uses? But let us continue on a little bit more here. And, for example, the cannabinoids are found to have particular application as neuroprotectants, for example, in limiting neurological damage following ischemic insults such as stroke and trauma, or in the treatment of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and HIV dementia. Now, why Why would the DEA, on the one hand, say it has no medical use, none whatsoever, and then the U.S. Patent Office issue a patent for something that's useless? That's your government at work. That's your government ripping you off, killing you to protect industries. Why? Why, you say? I'm glad you asked. Earlier, matter of fact, December 10th, 2016, Jack Burns from the Free Thought Project wrote the following article. DEA report says positive media attention of cannabis making it harder for them to arrest you for it. So apparently the mainstream medium, or the lamestream media, as I like to call them, they accidentally screwed themselves by going against the administration. But anyhow, as the Free Thought Project has faithfully reported, the Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA, of the United States government hasn't softened its position nor its stand against marijuana, and this summer attempted to classify yet another plant, Khartoum, whatever that is, as a Schedule I narcotic. I mean, it just doesn't stop with these people. But anyhow, I'd said in a previous video that they were protecting the pharmaceutical industry. Come to my attention, they're not the only ones. They are not the only ones being protected here, people. There are many, many others. Yes, there are, Grasshopper. There are many more. And who would they possibly be protecting? While the DEA continues to target marijuana as anyone's guess, but it could have something to do with the prison industrial complex and the influence by Big Pharma. As long as marijuana is illegal, there has continued to be many millions of inmates housed in the prison industrial complex. According to global research, the figure shows that the United States has locked up more people than any other country. 500,000 more than China, which has a population 5 times greater than the United States. U.S. statistics reveal that the United States holds 25% of the world's prison population, but only 5% of the world's people. And locking people up is a lucrative business. Brings in billions of dollars of revenue from cheap $2 an hour labor. Prisoners make serving U.S. corporate society. And he mentioned some of the businesses here, like IBM, Boeing, Motorola, Microsoft, AT&T Wireless, Texas Instruments, Dell, Compaq, Bell and Honeywell, Hewlett-Packard, Nortel, Lucent Technology, 3Com, Intel, Northern Telecom, TWA, Nordstrom's, Revlon, Macy, Pierre Cardin, Target stores, who have reportedly all profited from prison laborers. Now, according to the Extract, which is another magazine from the Sun-Times, 5 more industries also profit from marijuana remaining illegal. Big Pharma tops the list and stands to lose market share of prescription drugs sold in the U.S. if weed were legal in all 50 states. Following Big Pharma are, here it comes, police unions. Yes, who rake in millions in police confiscation, asset forfeitures, confiscated cash, and federal grants to fight marijuana-related crime. Oh, excuse me. Third on the list are private prison corporations. According to the report, the 2 largest private prison operators, Corrections Corporation of America and GEO, spent over $1.5 billion, that's billion with a B, dollars lobbying against reduced incarceration time in an attempt to maximize their profits. Fourth are prison guards unions, which have given over $1 million in the alone in the lobbying against reduced parole sentence for nonviolent drug offenders and drug treatment and rehabilitation programs as an alternative to incarceration. Last, but certainly not least, are alcohol and beer corporations, which have been actively lobbying against legalization of marijuana in all efforts to keep more people turning to the bottle instead of lighting up a joint, something which is far safer than alcohol consumption. The point here, cannabis can cure you of many diseases. Alcohol can give you diseases. You drink enough, you can get cirrhosis of the liver and quite a few other things. But that's neither here nor there, according to them. What should be illegal, unlawful, is lobbying of the DEA. Any corporation or entity allowed to lobby the DEA in an effort to influence its enforcement policies is baffling. The agency is an enforcement agency, not a legislative one. Yet a quick check of Open Secrets documentation of lobbying done by the DEA reveals quite a few disturbing facts. Of the 21 public and private corporations which have lobbied the DEA, 14 are medical and pharmaceutical in nature, 2 are public, U.S. states, 3 are related to hemp production, 1 is with fish and wildlife, the last is the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Looking at the least lobbyists, one could easily conclude the DEA drug enforcement policies are heavily influenced monetarily by Big Pharma and those who work with her. No wonder the fight to legalize marijuana is an uphill battle. The problem being is, ladies and gentlemen, and I've told you this before, my wife passed away from cancer. I could not get her what she needed. We had to follow their stupid-ass protocols, which, guess what, killed her. It's not the first time it's happened in my family. It's happened several times in my family. They've known since Nixon. Actually, they knew before that. It goes back in the 1930s, which one of my other videos will cover. But they've known for the longest time that cannabis cures cancer and Parkinson's and other diseases out there, and AIDS and Alzheimer's. The research out there is phenomenal. But who am I? I'm just a little old retired guy who's lost his wife of 45 years, and I mean nothing to them except to vote on Election Day. Well, I think that's all going to stop. Because now it's time to write letters, start making phone calls, and I'm getting sick and tired of this crap. I am tired of listening to a bunch of bureaucratic idiots protecting their friends who are making massive amounts of money. And if they don't like it, too bad. Too damn bad. But that's all I got for you today. Kind of wraps up episode 2 of Operation Cannabis. Hey, I hope you've gone to the website and decided to copy some stuff down there and, send it to your representative. I mean, we got new representatives going in there in January. Got a new president going in on the 20th. He's going to get a bunch of stuff for me, too. I'm putting that package together. I'll have that video up before he goes and gets inaugurated. So, inaugurated or whatever, before they swear at him, because I want you to see what I'm sending out. Now, I don't care what you send out. You can send out a little bitty letter. You can send them an email. It doesn't matter. But do something. Because, ladies and gentlemen, sooner or later in your life, someone will be affected with cancer or Parkinson's or Alzheimer's or dementia. All the stuff that they mention. Skin cancer is also treated with cannabis. They use it as a salve. Put it on they put it on the little thing there and it takes care of that. Video on YouTube. There is so much documentation of what it does and what cannabinoid receptors are and how it works with the body. It would behoove you to get involved in this before it becomes too late. By the time I could have gotten anything, any type of medical marijuana card for my wife or anything else, she'd have been long dead because she died 2 days later. Take it from me, ladies and gentlemen, the loss, the grief, and the sorrow after a loss like this is devastating compared to what it would take you to spend a little bit of time busting the chops of your congressman, senator, or even the president. That's what they're there for. They're there to do our bidding. We're not there to do theirs. But hey, that's just my opinion. Everything else I've given you is fact. I'll drop some links down in the description below, so you can go and see what's going on. In the meantime, in between, my mouth doesn't work anymore. In the meantime, I hope everybody has a wonderful time during the Christmas season. Enjoy it. Spend time with your loved ones, because I'm going to tell you something. That's time you'll never get back. This has been Ken for the Information Nation, bringing you more stuff. We'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.